Hello children, today we are going to start with your first unit of 11th class biology, that is diversity in living world. This unit is composed of 4 chapters. First one is the living world, second biological classification, third chapter plant kingdom, and the fourth chapter is animal kingdom. So before starting those chapters, before going on to those chapters, we'll go with the introduction of this unit. In total, there are 1.7 to 1.8 million species are present on Earth's surface right now. Till date, we know about 1.7 to 1.8 million of organisms on the Earth, out of which 1.2 million are animals and 5 million are approximately plants. That large number of organisms present on the Earth, not just they produce simultaneously in one day. It's a process of a large evolution, a long time evolution that takes place in approximately 3.5 billion years of time. That large variety is present on Earth's surface due to its life supporting methods or life supporting environments. Now that large diversity of organisms, that much species are divided, are classified on various bases. In the introduction of this unit, we will go with this basis and the various degree of diversity. The first basis on which we differentiate the diverse variety of organisms is appearance. How they look, what are exactly in their forms, what is their size, and on the basis of their color. So appearance includes 3 things actually. The first one is how their form is, how they look into their forms, whether they are irregular shape, whether they are cylindrical shape, whether they have a fixed shape, or whether they are well-defined shapes like plants. Next, size. Some are microscopic, those are included in microorganisms, and some are very large, up to 100 meters long. Some trees are there, pine trees like, and the other one is color. You have seen so many colorful organisms, colorful plants. That is because of their various appearances. They are differentiated into the different classes, into the different groups. The next one is habitat. Habitat, the place where an organism lives, is known as its habitat. Some organisms are aquatic. They used to live in water. Water is their habitat, water is their home. Some are terrestrial, which used to live on land. So on this basis, the organisms are divided on the various classes, various groups. These have further subdivided into classes. Next, third is habits. What type of activities they perform to live in a habitat is known as or are known as habits. For example, the first one I wrote on the board is fossorial. Fossorial are the habits, are the organisms which used to live underground, are known as fossorial. Next, parasites. We had studied about this in class 10th. Parasites are the organisms which used to live on the body of another living organism. In this kind of interaction, the parasite will be benefited and the host will be harmed. Next is symbionts. Symbionts or mutualism. Symbionts are the organisms which lives on the or with the body of the other organism, other living organism, and both of the organism will provide a benefit to each other. In parasitic mode of nutrition, one is benefited, another one is harmed. In symbionts, both organisms are benefited. You must have heard the examples of rhizobium and leguminous plants, roots of the leguminous plants. You must have heard the example of lichens, algae and fungi. Those are symbionts. Next, diurnal. The animals which are active during day are known as diurnal animals. Another one is nocturnal. The animals which are active during night are known as nocturnal. Like cockroaches, they are usually active during the night. So these are the habits on which the organisms are differentiated into various forms. Next, fourth is structure. This structural composition, whether the organisms are prokaryotes, that is the organisms or the cells which do not possess a well-defined nucleus, which do not have a nuclear membrane to separate the nuclear material from the cytoplasm. Those are known as prokaryotic cells, and the organisms which possess that prokaryotic cell are known as Prokaryotes, pro means primitive. This pro means primitive, purana, and karyon means nucleus. Next is eukaryotes. Eu means advanced, and karyon means nucleus. The organisms, the cells which have a well-defined nuclear membrane which separates the nuclear material from the cytoplasm is known as eukaryotic cell, and the organisms which possess the eukaryotic cell are known as eukaryotes. For example, human beings, cat, dog, plants, all these are eukaryotic organisms because they possess eukaryotic cell. Next, fifth, physiological processes. Various processes which are useful, which are needed by a living organism to maintain its activities, to maintain its basic life processes are known as physiological processes or life processes in general. The first physiological process is nutrition. The phenomena, the life process by which an organism intakes its food, digests it or breaks it down into simple molecules and then utilize it for the production of energy is known as nutrition. As we all are aware, nutrition is of two types. One is autotrophic, another one is heterotrophic. Auto means self and trophic means mode of nutrition. The mode of nutrition in which an organism can synthesize its own food is known as autotrophic mode of nutrition, which is further of two types, photoautotropic and chemoautotropic. The mode of nutrition in which an organism can synthesize its own food by the help of light energy is known as photoautotropic, and the mode of nutrition in which an organism can synthesize its own food by the help of chemicals is known as chemoautotropic. Next, heterotropism or heterotrophic mode of nutrition. The mode of nutrition in which an organism cannot synthesize its own food and depends on other organisms for its nutritional requirements is known as heterotrophic mode of nutrition. It is of further types. First is parasitic mode of nutrition. Next, saprotropic mode of nutrition. The mode of nutrition in which an organism depends on dead and decaying matter. In this mode of nutrition, the organisms like fungi and bacteria absorb the liquid content from the dead and decaying matter. That mode of nutrition is saprotropic. And next one is holozoic, the mode of nutrition in which an organism eats up the solid content through its mouth, through the specialized organs, is known as holozoic mode of nutrition. So these are the various forms of nutrition on which the organisms are divided, on which organisms are classified. Next, respiration, the process in which the oxidation of simple food takes place to produce energy is known as respiration. It is of two types, aerobic respiration in which air or oxygen is used, and anaerobic respiration in which no oxygen is required, no oxygen is used. So on this basis the organisms are classified into aerobes, which performs aerobic respiration, and anaerobes, which performs anaerobic respiration. Next, excretion. Excretion means removal of the waste products out of the body is known as excretion. Various organisms excrete their own various nitrogenous waste, like some excrete urea, so they are known as ureotelic. Some excrete uric acid, they are known as uricotelic. Some excretes ammonia, they are referred as ammonotelic. So that's the basis of excretion. Rather than the type of nitrogenous waste, there is one more differentiation in excretion, and that is on the basis of their organs. Like insects use Malpighian tubules or the green glands for excretion. Some use their body to excrete their waste materials. So on the basis of organs, we classify them. Next, irritability. Irritability means sensitivity. The response of a living organism to environmental change is known as irritability or sensitivity in simple terms. So we all are aware that when we touch Mimosa pudica or ch-1 plant, the leaves of that Mimosa pudica will droop. They will close its leaves. That is what the sensitivity is all about. When we touch the hot plate, then immediately we remove back, we pull back our hand. That is also an example of sensitivity or irritability. The last one is reproduction. Re means again, and production means to produce something, to produce young ones. So the process in which the new organisms are produced from the pre-existing ones is known as reproduction. These are two types: sexual reproduction, asexual reproduction, which are further divided into subtypes. So on these bases, on these features, basically we diversified the living organisms. So that is the basis on which we diversify the organisms. First is appearance, the second is habitat, third is habits, fourth structure, and fifth physiological processes. So now we'll start with the first chapter, that is the living world. In the initial phases of this chapter, first we'll discuss what is life and what is living. First we'll discuss what is life, the definition of life. It is a unique, complex organization of ions and molecules which performs certain chemical reactions in order to bring about life activities or basic life processes is known as life. बेसिकली बच्चों व्हाट इज लाइफ? लाइफ क्या है? कॉम्प्लेक्स ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, एक कॉम्प्लेक्स स्ट्रक्चरल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है किसका? आयंस एंड मॉलिक्यूल्स का. एज वी आर ऑल वेल अवेयर दैट ऑर्गेनिज्म इज बेसिकली कंपोज्ड ऑफ टू थिंग्स, लिविंग पार्ट एंड नॉन लिविंग पार्ट. लिविंग पार्ट इज कंपोज्ड ऑफ cells, tissues, organ system like this, and the non-living part, the cells are made up of various atoms. Atoms join together to form molecules. Molecules join together to form smaller molecules known as micromolecules. Then those micromolecules join together to form macromolecules. Macromolecules and then ultimately form biomolecules, and biomolecules constitute to form the first cell. So the two parts are there of a living organism. First non-living part and another one is living part. So basically what the life is, it is a unique and complex organization of ions and molecules that perform certain chemical reactions to perform or to do this various life activities is known as life. That complex organization is known as life. What is living? To understand what is living, it is better that we compare living with non-living. The comparison between living and non-living will help us to understand the concept of living organism very well. बच्चों, living organisms and non-living things both are made up of basically the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. When 99% of both these things composed of these four elements. As we all are aware, the carbon is the major source of every living or non-living thing. Those are referred as organic compounds. So the basic constitution, the structural constitution is almost same. Living and non-living organisms both follows the laws like radiation, action and reaction, gravitation, magnetism. They both are included in that. But still, there is one thing which separates the living from the non-living, and that thing is protoplasm. What is the protoplasm? The living content of the cell present inside the cell membrane in which all the vital activities are performed is known as protoplasm. We had studied about the protoplasm in our previous class, that is class 9th, that protoplasm is the living content of the cell inside the cell membrane. So, Huxley was a scientist who called the protoplasm as the physical basis of life. So if someone asks you what is the physical basis of life, the answer would be protoplasm. Protoplasm is referred as the physical basis of life by Huxley in 1863. Now we study the characteristics of living organisms. There are certain characteristics on which we differentiate between an organism is living or not. So, for the characters of living organism, first we'll go with the definite shape and size. Living organisms possess a definite shape and a size, whereas non-living organisms do not have, or non-living things do not have any fixed shape or size. Due to the fixed definite shape and size, the living organisms are known as morphous. Morphous word is taken from morphology, that means physical feature, physical characters. Whereas Non-living things do not have any definite shape or size. That is why they are referred as amorphous. A means absent and morphous means morphology. That is physical form. Next is organization. The second one is organization. Living organisms have a fixed cellular organization. Living organisms are made up of cells, whereas non-living things do not composed of cells. So, living organisms have a fixed organization. Cells unite together to make tissues. Tissues unite together to make organs. Organs unite together to make organ systems. And this type of complex organization is not present in non-living things. Next, growth and development. First we'll discuss what is growth. Growth is the increase in the size, in the number or in the volume by either increasing the dry mass or dry weight or the population of an organism. Growth क्या है बच्चे? बढ़ना. किसी भी organism का बढ़ना according to its number, size or volume, that is known as growth. And the activities of growth through which an organism undergoes during its lifetime is known as development. और उन्हें क्या बोलते हैं? Development बोलते हैं. Maturation is basically known as development. Living organisms and non-living things both grow. Then what is the difference, बच्चे? The difference is the living organisms grow externally as well as internally, whereas non-living things grow only externally. The living things grow both externally and internally, whereas non-living things grow only externally. So that is the basic difference between the living things growth and non-living things. Both of them will grow. Next, fourth, reproduction. We must have heard of a line that says life comes from life. That is, a living organism will give rise to the birth of, will give rise to the production of a new organism. एक जीवन जो है वो जीवन से ही पैदा होता है बच्चे. कैसे? Because a living organism can only give rise to a new organism. Non-living things cannot give rise to a new organism. एक पहले से अगर mountain है वो नई mountain नहीं बना सकती. For that mountain we require another type of calamity or natural change. So बच्चे, life comes from life means only living things can reproduce the individuals just like their own kind. There are two methods of reproduction we had discussed earlier as well, that sexual and asexual methods. This type of life process or physiological process is absent in non-living things. Reproduction plays a very important role. It maintains the number of species, it maintains the number of individuals on the earth. Next is metabolism, the defining character on which we differentiate the living organisms and non-living things. Metabolism means the sum total of all the vital activities occurring inside the body of an organism is known as metabolism or metabolic activities. एक लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म की बॉडी में जितनी भी एक्टिविटीज हो रही हैं उनका सम टोटल क्या कहलाता है? मेटाबॉलिज्म. Metabolism is divided into two various forms. It's studied in the two various forms. One is catabolism or catabolic activities, and the other one is anabolism or anabolic activities. Catabolism or catabolic activities are those activities in which the larger complex molecules, the larger complex structures are broken down into the simple ones, whereas anabolism is a type of metabolism, is a type of reactions, activities in which the smaller molecules, the simple structures combine together to form complex ones. So basically anabolism में क्या है? The complex are broken down into simple ones, and in anabolism the simple ones combine together to form complex ones. So this is what the metabolism is all about. Both of these combine together to form metabolism. The next feature is homeostasis. Homeo means alike, एक जैसा. Stasis means stability. The property due to which a living organism can be able to maintain its internal environment or internal activities, internal physiological features constant, irrespective of the outer one, is known as homeostasis. Living organisms can maintain their body temperature, can regulate their body growth by various factors. That is referred as homeostasis. Whereas non-living things do not perform homeostasis. They change according to the outer temperature. Next, consciousness. Living things can perform irritability, sensitivity, that means they are conscious. I gave you the example of ch-1, that is mimosa pudica. It shows certain sensitivity. Pulling back of our hand when we accidentally touch a hot plate, that is also sensitivity, irritability, consciousness. We are awake, we are conscious, due to which living things are different from the non-living things. Then what about a person who is in coma? If a person is in coma, then that person cannot be able to respond. The sensitivity of that person is lacking in that case. But that person is still considered as living because of the other activities which it shows, which that person shows the check. Next, healing or repair. We all know that living organisms can heal or repair their damaged tissues, their damaged organs. How? We have certain regulatory systems, we have certain healing regulatory systems in our body which keeps on healing our injured parts. For example, a fractured bone, you must have seen a fractured bone person, the person who has any sort of accident and the bone gets fractured. Then by the help of POP or by the help of making it stable, we can again combine it. The fractures can be refilled, can be healed. How? Because we are living organisms. Living organisms have certain cells which performs the function of healing and repairing. Whereas non-living things cannot heal or repair on their own. Any corrosion in our building, in our walls cannot be healed or cannot be repaired on its own. For that we have require certain substances and we require certain labor for that. So non-living things cannot perform the function of healing and repairing, whereas living things can heal and repair on its own. Next, adaptation. Adaptation means the genetic or inheritable features by which an organism can adjust itself in the harsh or in the unfavorable conditions is known as adaptations. Adaptations वो हैं बच्चे एक ऐसे फीचर्स जो जेनेटिकली या इन्वायरमेंट चेंजेस की वजह से आते हैं जिससे एक ऑर्गेनिज्म हार्श या अनफेवरेबल कंडीशंस में अपने आप को सर्वाइव करवा पाता है. Adaptations are of two types. One is short-term adaptation, another one is long-term. Short-term adaptations are those adaptations which are present, which came in an organism, in a living organism, for a very short interval of time. Whereas the long-term adaptations are the adaptations which came in an organism for longer period of time. For example, claws of an eagle are used to scratch, and claws of hawk are used to scratch as well as catching its prey. So these are two different functions. These are two long-term adaptations of claws in various organisms. So these are the two type of adaptations which are present in living organisms, but non-living organisms do not possess that kind of phenomena in them. Next, evolution means a process in which a living organism undergoes certain sequential changes to bring about a new change, to bring about a new organism is known as evolution. Evolution occurs in living organisms. It also occurs in non-living organisms somehow, but that evolution does not play any significant role. Evolution of living organisms plays a very significant role in their survival due to unfavorable conditions. Which leads to residing environment for them. So in that, evolution plays a very important role for their survival, for their subsistence on the earth. Next, death. No living organism is immortal. Every living organism has a specific lifespan. What is lifespan? The time period for which an organism lives is known as its lifespan. Death is a permanent feature of a living organism, whereas non-living things do not die. They keep on present if do not interrupt by certain calamities or by human activities. They remain on the earth for an almost period of time. So, death is a feature of living organism. They die after leaving their lifespan due to natural or due to certain accidental issues. So, these are the characterized features on which we differentiate between a living and a non-living organism.